What's up, guys? Andres back with bwbarbell.com with 3 more tips for you and a bonus piece of information. So it's the 25th of August, 2018. Just got back from church. Again, I'm on YouTube and Facebook Live, so it could look like I'm looking off into the distance, but I'm really just looking at 2 different cameras. So 3 tips for this week. Tip number 1, a lot of people ask how long should they rest in between their sets when they're working out. And along with a lot of other things that happen when you're doing working on your health, it depends question. It depends on what your goals are, right? It depends on how long you've been in the gym. It depends on how you're feeling that day. So there's a lot of different things that influence how long you should rest between sets. So what is your goal, right? Is your goal weight loss? Is your goal to build size? Is your goal to build strength? That will also determine how long you rest. If you're if you want to do build muscle, hypertrophy, then you want to be resting 30 to 90 seconds in between your sets. You want to rest, try and rest more on the shorter end of the time period. One, it'll keep you more active, keep your heart rate up, and cause more metabolic damage while you're there. And also it'll just make your workouts not last as long, which, who wants to spend, depending on what your goals are and what your time constraints are, you don't want to spend a lot of time in the gym. Cutting your rest periods is one great way to do that. If you're more on the strength side, then you want to rest anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Or if you're on the more advanced level of the strength curve, you may have to rest longer to get your strength back, to get your energy back for your next set, right? So why do we have to rest in between sets? So if you're working out with a weight that is within your rep range and you're really failing at that rep range, then your body has used up glycogen and ATP, which is what your muscles use for energy. So once you use all that in a set, you have to give your body time to replenish all those things that you use and move the waste out of your system. So when you feel the burn, when your muscles start to hurt, you've built up a lot of metabolic waste in your muscles, and you have to be able to flush those out and then replenish what you need, the energy source that you need to go on to the next set. So paying attention to how you feel is very important. You want to make sure you're ready for your next set when you start up again. You don't want to waste time in the gym by going too fast, and you don't move as much volume as you need to get the training effect that you're looking for. But you don't want to get carried away either, right? You don't want to, if you can, tip number 1, leave your phone in the car, right? You don't want to be distracted by things that make you rest longer than you should, because then your workouts last forever and you won't get the most out of your training as you could if you were making it as compact as possible and resting the least amount as possible, which is what you really want. So don't get carried away. I find that when I sit down, I rest longer. So I try not to sit down in between sets. I pace around whatever equipment that I'm working on, pace back and forth, take a lap around the gym, and that should give me enough time to be ready for my next set, depending on what I'm doing for that day. So, you don't want to get carried away, don't want to look at your phone, don't want to sit down, because then you start resting. I find that when I have all those 3 things going, I rest a lot longer than I should, and my workouts last a lot longer than I should. So when you're rested and you go on to your next set, it's okay if you don't. So if your training program says 3 sets of 10 or 4 sets of 10, right? Even if you're resting the prescribed amount of time, it's okay if your sets go a set of 10, a set of 8, a set of 6, and a set of 4, right? That's okay. That means that you have picked your true 10 rep max. So you're able to hit that 10 rep max on your first working set. And even if you recover because you picked your weight correctly, you're not going to be able to get 10 reps if you rest the appropriate amount of time for whatever training outcome that you want, right? If you go 10 and then you barely get 10 and your next set is 4, then you either didn't rest long enough or you're using the wrong weight for the exercise. So going 10, 8, 6, 4 for reps is okay, even if you rest. I'm doing hypertrophy and muscle building, so I'm going to rest 90 seconds and I still get 10, 8, 6, 4 reps. That's okay. That just means you picked the weight correctly, right? If I'm doing hypertrophy, I rest 90 seconds and I get 10, 4, 3, 1, then you might want to pick a new weight for that exercise. So if you have any questions about rest periods, leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to explain more or give you another explanation as to why you need to rest. So once you're done with the gym, you have to eat something. A lot of people, myself included, in the beginning of going to my gym experience, me going to the gym, I would reward myself with a cheat meal. You shouldn't do that. I mean, if you're starting out, if you say tomorrow I'm going to start working out and working on my physique, and then so today's Sunday, and then by Friday you're already looking to give yourself a cheat meal, that's not really conducive to getting you towards your goal. Cheat days are not necessary. They're not good for you as a beginner, because eating that way is counterproductive to what you're doing, right? Because then they turn into cheat days, which then say, whatever, one day of for breakfast I had pancakes, and then I had a hamburger for lunch and pizza for dinner. I might as well start again next week, doing my workout plan and diet. So as a beginner, they aren't really necessary, right? If you're a little more advanced, the proper way to do them is to plan them, right? Don't make them spontaneous, and you want to make them planned down to the macros that you're going to consume when you're eating the cheat meal, right? And a lot of times it really isn't a cheat meal. At that point, it's a refeed meal because you've been dieting for a long period of time and you may be stalling in your diet. And we find it's known, or it's been researched that if you're dieting after a long period of time of dieting and you stall, going into a caloric surplus for a short period of time can then jumpstart your weight loss again. And the easiest way to combine a reward, and I want to use that term loosely, and bumping you out of a caloric deficit is to go out for a cheat meal, but those cheat meals have to be planned, right? I'm going to In-N-Out, right? And I know that I can go over my caloric allowance, come out of a deficit and above my maintenance by a certain amount, right? For that meal, I'm going to have this food. I'm going to figure that into my macros so that I hit the target that I want and I don't go overboard, right? And you may only need that if you've been working out for maybe a year and you've been on a diet at that year of gym of your what do you want to call it? Your gym lifetime. You're working out for a year, and you've been on the diet for 6 months, 3 months. You've been making good progress. You stall, then you might want to throw in a meal to bring you out of that deficit to jumpstart your weight loss again. And it may sound weird, but you don't want to really be starving or hungry when you're going into your your cheat meal, because then you might go overboard, right? You want to fit it into your day. And so, if it's, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, you want to make sure you have your food at the same times every day. And then for your dinner, you're going to go out and have that meal. You've already eaten throughout the day. This meal is just a little extra calories. And you don't want to be hungry, starving when you go, because instead of having one of whatever you're going to have, you might order two because you're starving, right? Most of the time when people say they want to have a cheat meal, it really isn't that they're starving or they're hungry. It's more of a craving, right? I used to eat this way. Everyone else is eating this way. So I want to feel like everyone else, and I want to have this meal. So you got to be aware of, what are you really at a point where you can benefit from a meal like this, or are you just craving it because you haven't had it for a long period of time? And you have to make sure you understand what your goals are and eat accordingly. Another way you might be able to not crave certain things is if you go out with your friends or your family, you go to the same restaurant that they want to go to, and you make a better choice, right? You're there, you're socializing, but you just make a better choice for that meal, right? So instead of everyone's having burgers, then you say, I'm going to have a chicken burger, right? I'm going to skip the fries. I'm going to have a salad with, the appropriate dressing that you should have. And, you're there hanging out with everybody, have a couple of fries up with someone else's plate, and you should be golden. So you don't want to get into the habit of having a bunch of cheat meals to reward yourself, because then you're not going to make any progress. You might actually go backwards. Third tip is which is better, free weights or machines. So in my opinion, of the two, the better is free weights, right? Because with free weights, you work a lot more muscles than you do when you use machines, right? If you use the bench press machine versus the bench press, you'll have to use a lot more muscles to do the free weight bench press than you do in the machine bench press, right? You don't have to stabilize it at all, right? So you're using less muscles, right? Machines have their place, don't get me wrong, right? If the gym you go to has all machines, then that's the only option you have. You're not going to work out because it's only machines, right? You're going to go use those machines, get a workout plan that you can use all those machines in to hit all your body parts, and then you'll make progress. Don't get me wrong, you won't make progress, but if you had to choose between the two, then you want to use free weights, right? Machines, in my opinion, should be used as supplementary or secondary work, right? You do your barbell bench press, and then you can go do the hammer press, right? Because you want to get more volume in. You may be tired or fatigued from your barbell bench press, right? You just want to get more volume in, then you go use a machine. You get more volume. You less risk for injury because you're not having to stabilize the weight when you're tired, and you get a lot more volume, which will have a greater training effect and help you make more progress. A complete plan has both, right? Free weights and machines and cables and whatever. It uses any tool in the toolbox to get the job done. But free weight should be your primary tool for lifting weights in the gym. We understand that free weights can be intimidating. When I started out, I did all machines because I was intimidated by, one, not knowing how to use the equipment in general, and two, you're starting out and you're going into the free weight area, and you have a lot of advanced lifters there, and you don't feel comfortable being in there. I get it, but everybody in there started out with an empty bar, and they've progressed from there to adding more weight on the bar, and then they get to the level that they're at now. But everybody started out with the empty barbell. You shouldn't be intimidated going into the free weight area. And if people in there try to intimidate you or try and not let you use the equipment, maybe you're in the wrong gym. You always want to be in a gym that you feel comfortable in. You don't want to take that too far and be in the gym that doesn't allow you to make progress, or doesn't have all the equipment that you think you need to work out, but you don't want to be in a gym where you feel completely intimidated going in there because people are actually intimidating you in the free weight area. Most gyms, I've never been in a gym that's happened. Every gym that I've been in, and every time I go on vacation somewhere, I make it a point to visit a gym just because I like to see what other gyms have. And I've never been in a gym anywhere that the free weight area, you go in there and they don't just let you work out like everyone else. Every place I've been in, there's never been any issues with me going in from when I started out till now. New guy in the gym or not, I've never been in a gym where I've been, territory has been an issue, right? Everyone's been accommodating. Everyone's real helpful. They may look like they're big, tough people, but everyone that I've encountered in the gym has always wanted to help people. So free weights, primary, machines, secondary, supplemental, use them both for a complete workout. But the number one tool that I found helps out the most in the gym and out of the gym too, just in health in general, is consistency. That's the number one rule for getting fit. You have to be consistent in what you do. Do it all the time, because progress comes when you're consistent over a long period of time, right? So you want to do a few things, right? You go in the gym. This is my, chest routine, my push routine. I'm going to use these 5 exercises, these 4 exercises, and I'm always going to use those exercises for a long period of time. Because I know over time I'll get better at them and I'll see a lot of progress, right? If you're changing, the muscle confusion thing, I don't really buy into it, right? If you're changing your exercises every time you go in there, it depends answers to this, but in general, most people, if they use the same exercises when they go into the gym, they will see progress for a long period of time. If they keep changing them, they may feel like they're making faster progress, right? You feel more tired, but it's just that your body is learning the exercise, and eventually you'll get back in the same place that you were, right? You have to look at, what do I have to change using the same exercises to continue to make progress, right? Is it my rest periods, right? I use the same exercises, but is it my rest periods? Is the weight not correct? Is my form not the best, right? So things like that need to be taken into consideration before you say, the bench press isn't working for me, I need to get a new chest exercise to replace the bench press, right? Something can be tweaked before you get rid of it outright, right? What you want to do is you want to make a bunch of good habits that you just do all the time, and you will see the benefits of making it a habit. You don't want to have to learn something new all the time. You want to set the groundwork. These are my habits. This is how I eat. This is how I work out. This is how I rest. And you just do them, right? And you'll see progress. You just want to execute your plan. Don't try and do it on the fly, right? You want to be consistent in what you do and just do it. You want to have, you don't want to have your toolbox too big, because then you get confused in showing off all your tools, right? You want to have a few tools in your toolbox that get the most bang for your buck, and you want to just use them and make as much progress as you can. You just want to make steps forward, one foot in front of the other. until you get to where you want to go. So that's it, guys. Comment below. Let me know where you guys are watching this from. Comment below, and where you're watching this video from. I just want to know where my videos are getting to. Share this with someone you think will benefit from this. Visit my website. I have a lot more information on there. So for me to continue to bring you videos, if you can comment questions, stuff that you want to have answers for, comment them below, and I will I'll answer them. I'll research them if I don't know them. If I know them, I'll answer them in one of these. I may send you a message directly. I may post it on Facebook or wherever you find this video and answer you directly. But whatever I can do to help you, I'll do it. All right. Share this video. Spread the word. Thanks for watching. This is Andres from bwbarbell.com. I'll talk to you guys next week.